My name is Greg Muger. I am a PhD student at Pepperdine University studying global leadership and change. The title of my research is The Impact of a Servant Leadership Program on College Students in East Africa. So developing economies face a number of considerable challenges, including corruption at all levels, a lack of transparency and trust, and a lack of commitment towards human well-being that have led to deep pockets of poverty in regions and even nations. The impacts are vast and crippling. Material resources and finances squandered. Critical human services like healthcare inadequate, and low labor productivity. The good news is that there has been progress against poverty in developing economies. Look, in 1990, 36% of the world's population, that's 1.9 billion people, 1 in 3, were in extreme poverty, compared to just 10% in 2015. The issue is these impressive data are not consistent across regions. East Asia, the Pacific, Europe, and Central Asia have reduced extreme poverty to below 3%. It's Sub-Saharan Africa, on the other hand, comprises 50% of the world's extremely poor population. What is most concerning is that the Sub-Saharan region has seen an increase in extreme poverty rates, from 217 million in 1990 to 413 million in 2015. We are going the wrong way. Why is Sub-Saharan Africa experiencing this phenomenon? Some may say it's a problem of a lack of resources. It's not. The region is resource rich. It's a people problem. According to research, at its core, poor leadership. Effective leadership is the region's most pressing need. They require homegrown leaders who emerge from the local context with strong local ownership. These leaders can oversee the development of its nation's wealth, which is its labor force. I have spent nearly 20 years researching and implementing leadership programming globally. This included overseeing a leadership development program for over 7,000 Christian college students in developing economies, including the Sub-Saharan Africa region. These participants came from a deep poverty context, showed leadership potential, and displayed academic aptitude. The goal of the program was to build a cadre of leaders with the desire and skills to help bring their community and nation out of poverty. The question is, what can we learn about effective leadership programming in the region from these graduates? My research will focus on understanding the impact of the Servant Leadership Program in 2 countries, Kenya and Uganda. According to Conger, quantitative research alone is insufficient to investigate a topic as unstructured as leadership. Therefore, qualitative research is needed to understand how these leaders best learned leadership. An interpretive postmodern worldview would be utilized. I'll also use a phenomenological inquiry as my research methodology to understand the lived experiences of these trained leaders. 3 elements constitute the conceptual framework for this research. First, the 70-20-10 model of learning. It states that 70% of effective leadership learning is through experiences, 20% from developmental relationships, and 10% through formal coursework and training. Second, since the servant leadership model was greatly espoused, research will seek to understand the relevance of servant leadership theory and programming in an East African context. Lastly, the 4 assumptions of andragogy, according to Knowles, or adult learning theory, will be used to understand if learners saw more value in learning that was self-directed, based on their personal experience, practical, and able to be used in the immediate future. The problem statement and purpose of this research will be explored through a qualitative research method to understand participants' lived experiences and aspects of a leadership development program that best supported their leadership practices. A constructionist worldview will be used as it posits in order to understand this world through the lens of meaning, one needs to interpret it. An interpretivist research paradigm will be used as this paradigm supports the idea that there are multiple valid realities. A phenomenological research methodology will be utilized. Additionally, I will use a semi-structured interview process to record the phenomenological insights of 15 to 20 individuals from Kenya and Uganda that took part in this leadership development program. The semi-structured interview process utilizes a series of set questions while allowing new ideas to enter into the conversation as a result of the interview experience. This research will add to the limited body of knowledge on effective leadership development programming in a sub-Saharan context in the hopes of developing more effective leaders for the region.